Hi, there's something that I wanted to share with you about Contabo VPS. For the past 1 year, I've been using Contabo to deploy various applications, to deploy various servers, and I reached some time and said, can I run a video editing environment on this virtual server? And then I just have to, when I'm rendering out my videos, I can just render the videos and then without having to use my local computer. You know, over the past few months, I've actually been testing out this functionality, and I've realized that the basic video editing and rendering is actually possible with when you're using a good VPS plan on Contabo. Now let me show you something. This is my Contabo VPS server. It is actually, as you can see, I'm accessing it using RDP on my local machine. Let me try to minimize so that you can actually tell the difference. This is my local computer that I'm using, and this is my remote server that is deployed on Contabo. Now on this remote server, it is running Windows server as an operating system, and I have a bunch of software that I have installed on this platform. I have OBS, I have Filmora, I have After Effects, I have Google Chrome, I have Google Drive, and I have a couple of other software on this server. And so far, I've been getting a lot of benefit out of it, despite being a virtual server. It's not a dedicated machine, but I've been actually playing around with it to do a couple of things like video editing, like rendering out basic videos in 1080 resolutions. You can even render out videos on this server in HD, full HD. Now let me try to show you that this is truly a VPS server from Contabo. As you can see here on the cursor, you can see that this is my public IP address for the machine. So when I go to my Contabo dashboard and log in, you're gonna see that. Let's try to go to Contabo and log in. So this is my Contabo. Now when you go to services, can I try to zoom in? Okay, so as you can see, the services, I'm running a VPS AM SSD. The IP address is this one. The public IP address is this one, and this public IP address corresponds with the public IP address of my VPS machine. So basically, I'm paying a very small amount. I'm actually paying this amount. I'm paying about $11, 11 pounds, euros. I'm actually paying 11 euros, which are basically equivalent to $11. So I'm paying around $11 for this amount of computing power. But for the first time when you're signing up, the setup, they're gonna charge you a smaller setup fee if you're paying for 1 month. Let me show you what I'm trying to mean. When you go to the Contabo VPS plans and we are setting up for this is the plan that I'm running. This is the plan that I'm running. So when you select this plan, they're gonna give you six virtual cores. They give you 6 virtual core CPU cores, 16 GB RAM, and also give you 100 GB of NVMe storage, which is equivalent to 400 GB SSD storage. They're also gonna give you the capacity to create 2 snapshots. This means that these snapshots you can revert back when your server has some bit of problems. They're also gonna give you about 32 terabytes of data transfer. This is mind-boggling because not so many VPS providers out there they can give this much bandwidth capacity. Now when you can select a region, the European Union region that is in Germany is actually free, but if you're gonna select another region, that is, they're gonna charge you some bit of money. So there is no, if you're using Windows, or like you're creating a Windows machine, you don't need to worry about where the data center is. You can always select the European Union German data center, which is free, and create your Windows server instance. Now the storage, they give you this free storage, which is 400 GB SSD. They also offer the Windows server instance. This one, now people always get confused about this. When you're selecting the bidding plan, you can select 1 month, or you can select 3 months, you can select 6 months, you can select 12 months. Then when you come here, you can decide to select Ubuntu, and Ubuntu is a free instance. They won't charge you for software licensing because Ubuntu is free and everyone knows it. But if you're gonna use Windows, you have to pay for the license, and that's why when you click, it depends on the license that you want to run. If you want to run a Windows server instance, they're gonna charge you $14. Or if you want to go with the Windows server 2012 R2 data center, they're gonna charge you still $14. Or depending on the type of Windows, or the version of Windows server that you want to select it, they will charge you based on the version of Windows server operating system that you want to run. Now when you select this, you will see that in the first month they're gonna charge you a one-time setup fee, which is basically $7. If this one, they're gonna charge you a one-time setup fee. But in the next month, if you've chosen to go with the monthly bidding plan, 1 month plan, you will be charged this extra amount for setup as a setup fee. But if you decide to go with a 12 months plan, you won't be charged a setup fee if you go with a 12 months plan. If you go with a 3 months plan, like for example, you are selecting a 3 months plan, the setup fee will reduce a little bit. It won't be $6, it will come to $5. If you go with the 6 months plan, the setup fee will drastically decrease to almost a half, which is about $3 or $3.5. Now it depends on your needs. I would probably advise you, if you have long-term needs that you want to have a robust Windows VPS server with 6 virtual CPU cores and 16 GB RAM and all this storage, I think that, in my opinion and from my own experience, this amount is actually more fair. Let me show you an example. Assuming you wanted to get the same server from a platform like AWS. Let's go to AWS. I wanted to do some bit of comparison for you. If you wanted to go to you wanted to set up the same VPS server with Windows, with the same capacity, you know, how much are you gonna pay to get a 6 virtual CPU cores and 60 GB RAM? Let me show you something. So let me show you something here. In my opinion, I think that if you don't have bigger computing tasks, maybe you should avoid platforms like AWS. I help clients to deploy on these platforms, but I know that these platforms are not suitable for beginners, especially in terms of pricing. You're gonna end up getting charged a lot of money, and if you don't know how to set up or to manage costs on these platforms, especially the AWS platform. Now, I would like to compare for you how much would you pay on AWS if you needed to get a server with 6 virtual CPU cores and 16 GB RAM and this storage. How much would you pay on AWS? Now let's try to look and see. Okay, so let's try to fire up to configure an EC2 instance. We can configure an EC2 instance on AWS and try to compare. I would like us to compare as a bonus, you know, a bonus analysis for this video. Sometimes people keep on wondering. I'm telling you, let me tell you the truth from my own experience. Deploying a server on AWS is not actually cheap. It's not cheap. It's really expensive, and if you're just a small business owner that wants a simple server, I would strongly advise you to avoid AWS unless if you have enough resources or you have an expert that understand the technicality and the bidding economics of this platform. If you don't know how all those the technicality and the details of using AWS, you should avoid using it. You shouldn't use AWS if you don't know the technicalities behind it. Now, if you wanted to deploy a server, you can launch an instance on AWS, and you'll be redirected to a page that enables you to configure, to make some bit of configurations. So obviously, our comparison, we need to compare to find a Windows machine. You can try to see there are various operating systems here, but we want to make Windows operating system. Now here, because under this account I'm eligible for free tier plan, but we want to have a premium plan that will enable us to that has the same relatively the same computing power as one on Contabo VPS. So let's try to look for a VPS machine or an instance that has 60 virtual CPU cores and 16 GB RAM on AWS. So let's go to compare instance types. Now on instance types, let's try to look for one that has 6 virtual CPU cores, 6, there is one with 8, there is 2, 8, 4, 2, 1, 6 cores, 6 virtual cores. Okay, no, okay, without wasting time, let's just select one with 4 4 virtual CPU cores. This one, this one. We are selecting this. It has a 4 virtual CPU cores and 16 GB RAM. I haven't found the one with 6, but for this comparison, let's just go with this and see the cost, the amount of money they're gonna charge you per month. They're gonna charge you per month just running a machine with 4 virtual CPU cores and 16 GB of RAM. Now let's try to see the amount they're gonna charge you per month. Okay, now you can see that if you decided to run an instance on AWS with 4 virtual CPU cores and 16 GB of RAM, and that instance has Linux installed, you're gonna be charged $0.1856 per hour. Now let me pull up a calculator here for you. Let me pull up a calculator for you. We want to multiply 0.18. Let's just round it off. 0.19. Let's round it off to make it 0.19. So 0.19 multiplied by let's say that every day you would do, because a day has 24 hours, right? Yeah, a day has 24 hours. That is a day, it's not 12 hours. So 0.19 times 24 hours, what do you get? You get $4.56. So basically every day they're gonna charge you this amount every day if you were to run a full-time Windows instance on AWS. Full-time, every day they're gonna charge you this amount of money. But assuming you needed to run this instance for 30 days, so this means 30 days times that amount, you get $136, 137 if you round up. So per month you're gonna be charged $137 just to run a virtual instance on AWS with 4 virtual CPU cores and 16 GB of RAM. Very interesting, isn't it? But this computing power, you can get it on Contabo for if a month. If you decided to run Windows on Contabo, you're gonna pay this amount, and the next month you won't be charged this. In fact, let me be very clear. The setup fee is for just the starting month when you're setting up your server for the first time. But the next month, this setup fee won't be there. So in other words, the next month you're gonna pay $26 per month. This is to get 6 virtual CPU cores, and 16 GB of RAM. Now, this is not enough. Maybe let's try to go to DigitalOcean. DigitalOcean. Let's try to go to DigitalOcean and make some comparisons also there. How much are you gonna pay on DigitalOcean just to run how much do you gonna pay on DigitalOcean to get a machine with 6 virtual CPU cores and 16 GB of RAM? Let's try to log in in the DigitalOcean. Oh, sorry. We need to log in. Okay, this is DigitalOcean. Now, DigitalOcean, you can create a droplet. You can create a droplet on DigitalOcean, and then you select the region of your choice. It doesn't matter. You can select any region, and then you can select an operating system. It is important to know that DigitalOcean doesn't offer Windows instance, so it is actually not allowed to run according to the terms, DigitalOcean terms and conditions. You're not allowed to run a Windows instance on DigitalOcean. For now, and for this example, we're gonna compromise. Despite not having a Windows instance, we're gonna run a Ubuntu, which is free, but still select the same server, just like what we have with Contabo. Now let's try to select. We want a 6 virtual CPU core machine. A 6 virtual CPU core machine. You can tell, my goodness, CPU options, regular SSD, let's say CPU optimized, right? CPU optimized. Now this is there is a 4 they are offering a 4 GB RAM machine. This is 4 GB of RAM and 2 CPU cores. Guys, I want you to see this. DigitalOcean is offering an instance of 4 GB RAM and 2 CPU cores, and they're gonna charge you $42 per month. On the other hand, Contabo is offering you all this computing power for $33 per month. Interesting. If you needed this amount of power on DigitalOcean, you'd end up, how much would you end up paying? I wanted something that is close. Okay, let's because they don't have a 60 CPU core machine, so let's go with a 4 CPU core machine. You can see that this machine, they're gonna give you 8 GB RAM and 4 CPUs, virtual CPU cores, and they're gonna charge you $84 per month. My goodness. This is why I think that Contabo is actually a more suitable VPS provider for you that you can try out. I'll leave a link in the description there so that you can get some bit of a discounted pricing. They won't charge you more money when you use my link. but you'll be able to benefit from this discounted pricing when you're buying a VPS from Contabo. So you can use my link down in the description below to benefit from this massive amount of computing power. Obviously, if you needed to run a couple of softwares on your VPS server on Contabo, you would need a strong VPS power. You can select this one, because this is what I'm using actually for my server to run Fremola. I'm using this to run Fremola on my VPS server. This is the plan. So if you needed to run video editing environment on Contabo, I would probably advise you to probably go with this plan. Or if you need more computing power, you may go with this or this one, depending on your budget. But for the start, I would advise you to go with this. If you wanted to just run Linux, then this would still work for you, this plan. Now, let's go back to my VPS machine. On my VPS machine, as I told you, I have Fremola, I have Google Chrome, and Google Chrome is actually running very smoothly on this server. It runs very smoothly on this server. As you can see, you can search for anything you want. And their speed is formidable. Speed test. I've been uploading videos using this server, and it is mind-blowing, you know. Mind-blowing. It's really mind-blowing. Running a VPS. Let's try to check the speed test. This is Contabo, so just look at this. Just look at it. Just look at it. Okay, this is the download speed. So the download speed is 244 Mbps. What about the upload speed? So this is the upload speed. This is the upload speed, and this is the download speed. Very interesting. So Contabo is actually one of the best VPS providers out there that I really strongly advise that you can try out and use for your projects. Let's try to open Fremola. Let's try to open Fremola. I'm running Fremola 9. I'm going to do another video how to set up all of this for you. I'm gonna do it sometime. Maybe the next video I'll show you how to set up all this, or to install the software and things like that. So this is Fremola. As you can see, my Fremola is actually smooth. So when I open my task manager, I wanna see the CPU consumption on at the moment. So when I open my CPU, my task manager, you can see that I'm just using this amount of resources. I'm not actually, like, honestly, I'm running Google. So let me just close this. So you can see I'm running Fremola, but this is the performance of my my CPU consumption. And Fremola is actually performing very well. Let me try to run Uh, Filmora is actually it's very very okay. You see, it is the preview is okay. It's actually very normal, and it's not really. It's very interesting. You can edit anything you want using Filmora on Contabo, and you'll be wondering why would you edit videos from a remote server? The benefits are enormous. From my own experience, one, I'm able to save my internet. I don't have to use much of my internet data to upload high quality videos to YouTube. I just use a remote VPS, transform my files and edit from there, and then render them in full HD, and then upload them on YouTube. Even if my local machine is down, my remote server will keep doing the work for me, and I don't have to worry. For example, if there is an abrupt power outage at home, I won't probably lose the rendering process for my videos on a remote server. So I think that you can try out Contabo for your own, and for yourself the experience you're gonna get with this massive amount of computing power. I'm gonna cut short of this video. The next video I'm gonna do is I will show you how to set up everything on the Contabo. But if you wanna try out Contabo right now, you can use the link in the description and try them out and see if you can run a rendering environment with a video editing environment with Contabo. Now, you should know that this is a basic video editing environment. If you want a top-notch video editing environment, then you have to invest in a lot of money and probably go on AWS and get Windows instances that are GPU optimized. But at the end of the month, you're gonna pay thousands of dollars just to run such machines. So if you want to just have a basic video rendering environment or editing environment, you can use Contabo. You can render up to 1080 on this machine. You can render up to 1080 on this machine, and the videos are actually very interesting, you know. Let me show you one of the videos that I've rendered on Contabo using. These are some of the videos I've rendered on Contabo using this machine. Some people may not actually believe it, but it is true. This is one of the videos that I've rendered. This video I've used the Contabo to render it to edit. I've edited from Contabo and rendered it from Contabo. As you can see, this is 1080 full HD, and the video this is the file. This is actually the file that I rendered out. Where my configurations here. These are I could select full HD. I could select this, and even up to 60. FPS, frame rate per second, if I needed. So the next video I'm gonna try to show you how to go about all of this, to set up everything. So I request you to subscribe to this channel and keep following if you need to learn things to do with cloud computing, VPS servers and configurations, DevOps and things like that. Please subscribe to this channel and help me to reach 1,000 subscribers. You can subscribe, you can like this video, you can hit the notification button. Let me show you how to subscribe. Let me show you how to subscribe to my channel. It won't cost you anything. It would be a show of support for these kinds of videos. You'll be supporting me when you subscribe. So I would really appreciate when you subscribe to this channel. You can go to my YouTube channel and then hit subscribe. Let me just go to another page. Let me try YouTube. My network is slow today. I don't know. I may need to call my internet providers and tell me what is happening. They are intentionally capping my network, so I'll have to complain and tell them this issue is really disappointing me. So when you look for Yuga Comp, type in Yuga Comp. You type in Yuga Comp, and this is my channel. So when you reach on this channel, you can hit subscribe. You can hit subscribe, and then when you find a video that you like, you can hit subscribe still. You can like. You can also dislike. You have a right to dislike a video. So I'm not gonna dictate for you the opinion here, but you can do whatever you want. But when you subscribe to my channel and like the video, you are showing support for my work. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I would like to see you next time as I set up everything on Contabo and things like that. For now, you can try out Contabo and try to see the experience you're gonna get. You can try out. I'll leave a link in the description. As you can see, I'll leave a link in the description, and then maybe try out and see whether Contabo is gonna work for you based on the needs you have. But in my own experience, Contabo is the most cheapest VPS provider out there that can handle some of your needs at a basic level. Thank you so much, and see you again.